Party people. Brian the Cowman, or are you the Cowman this year? Is that something
Yeah, I'm
part of
Brian.
your identity?
I was the fantasy cowboy, but I grew up. I'm the fantasy cow man now, and I
Whoa.
think it's showing. You could say. I mean, I have 3 weeks in. I have two top scores,
Yeah,
and
holy
I think
shit. That's pretty encouraging.
yeah, there's really only one way to describe it. You could say that I'm.
I bet you guys wouldn't believe that we did not coordinate that ahead of time.
What?
Our dance. That was pretty good.
So this is my background for when I work, and when I want to be evil, I sit like this, and I look like I got a bull above me. Um, but yeah, crazy week. I am on top again, and
Were you
I
not
don't
on
see.
top previously? Steven was
No,
ahead
I've
of
been
you.
on top, but I didn't get top highest score in week two. Which of course, the year we don't pay out for top score, I'm top dog. But I think that's going to go down. I traded away a great asset today, JSN, who's wide receiver number six, despite being sat for a full half.
Hold on. We're gonna get to trades. You'll have
Oh,
your moment.
well,
Let's talk a little bit more about this week first.
you're right. All right, let's get into it here. I will share my screen and we can look at the past.
Okay, what matchups were interesting? Yours was not. You absolutely pounded Alex.
Dude,
I
yeah, but I mean, of course, but I mean, like he unfortunately, CeeDee Lamb died, and D
yeah.
Samson got point 0.2 points. It was closer than it looks. Like, whatever.
I mean,
Good job,
yeah,
Alex.
that's tough. I
But
do
see,
kind of
this
appreciate
matchup
that
was
Alex has
crazy.
stuck with the Pittsburgh defense despite them not looking that good, and it paid off with their 5 fumbles.
Yeah. Josh versus Nate was interesting. I'm glad to have won. I would have preferred to win by three points or less because Nate was trying to figure out if he should sit his defense.
Oh my gosh, I did not see that.
We were
That's
talking about that.
funny.
We were playing video games and talking about that, and I was like, you should probably sit your defense. I had no idea they actually got -3. Unfortunately, my team is too good, so it didn't matter. But
That's really funny.
I mean, we'll talk more about this later. But
I want to shout out both of these guys. I don't remember.
yeah,
I think I picked. Did I pick Josh?
these are the best 2 and 4 teams in the league for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they both like showed out this week, and I'm stoked for them. I mean, we'll get into it more later, but like,
Yeah,
it's so tight. Like, that's.
yeah. We had the Lions versus um, the Max Ghost. I guess I don't know.
I'm
I
excited
mean,
to hear
like on
from Mac. I
paper
want to
though,
hear what
BTJ,
he's
T
thinking.
Mac, McBride, Neighbors, Higgins. You should be a lot more scared. He just hasn't had any of his handcuffs hit yet, but we're 3 weeks in, and I think it's time to wonder if 0-6 is going to make the playoffs, which I've never seen Mac not make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
Taylor with the giving Bo his first loss. That was fun. Taylor's team came alive this week, and I think I'll talk more about it in a little bit. But I think he had a risky draft, but it looks like a lot of his risks are paying off. So I'm happy for him there.
yeah, he only has upside. I think from here. I mean, hopefully, we'll see. But
And then we
it's
have
hard.
the pathetic matchup of Luke and Gliscran, which just barely their matchup outscored you by maybe 10 points.
Could have taken them both on. Well, it was nice to
20.
see someone worse than Luke. That was nice. Thank you, Mac. But also, Gliscran's involvement in the chat is directly proportional to how many points they're
That's
scoring at that
true.
moment. So I wish they would score more points. I want to hear more.
They've been the most quiet of anyone this year, I think.
Because they have to win
That's
or
sad,
have a lot
guys.
of
Come on.
points for Chris to start, talking some what, and we're just not getting it. But that's okay. And yeah, overall a fun week. I mean, your matchup was hilarious. I changed my thing to vote for you, and
Oh
I
my
can't believe it
god.
was this close. I also insane. You guys were this far apart, and you still lost Median and Steven didn't.
Yeah, I think that might be the closest 0-2, 2-0 we've ever had. I don't know. I don't want to go back and look.
Pretty close. I can't imagine it. It can't be much closer. And so I was waiting for a stat change. I was watching this game pretty closely.
Hey,
but
Tuesday night is the last week was when the stat change happened. So it's not happening.
That's true.
My team had -10 points off of turnovers and 2 just egregious Marv drops. So I got to see that, and that was super fun.
And we watched a lot of these games together, and you kind of said the same. You said bad week for fantasy, which was true for a lot of people, but not for everyone. And I feel like that always happens. Anytime it's a bad week for fantasy, I feel like my team pops, which means I just feel like I have a bad team. But
okay, let's take a look at your scores from this past week. Let's go into your matchup and see where Josh Allen, he's the guy. And then let's scroll to the bottom of your lineup. Down. Oh, look, 30 points. Your highest scoring player was your defense. So,
I mean, I could have sat my defense and I would have gone 2-0.
Actually, that's pretty close.
No, it's pretty much right on. I could have sat I'm not saying defenses don't matter, but I still would have beat Alex and I still would have beat Median, which is 2 things that you would not have done. So you can say whatever you want. I have the number 1 ranked defense on the year. I'm very happy about it. Where enough about our teams. It was an interesting week. I think that we're just now to the point where you got to start forgetting the draft and you got to start looking forward. Which maybe that's a good segue into your trade talks.
Yeah, let's talk. Okay, so to get to trades, I remember learning this. It's the dumbest thing. Okay, so scroll down here.
What am I looking for?
We're looking at there's like 3 trades, I think, so I want to make sure we get it right. And then go to view, and then go up, view all, in recent activity, and then trades. So I think we have 3 trades in the past week. My trade with Mac, Mac's trade with Alex, your trade today.
Oh, here it is, right here. So going back, so you want to do Mac and your trade first? This one?
Yeah. Tell me your thoughts. I mean, obviously I did the trade, so I have thoughts, but
I think that you two. It's actually hilarious. I put our league into Dynasty Danny's Power Rankings, which is a Dynasty database, and it meant you and Mac as the top dogs, and I was just laughing.
I have a good Dynasty team.
It's a great trade in Dynasty, and I think it's not a great trade in this format. But anytime I see a not great trade go down between 2 people that are really good at fantasy, I get very happy. So I'm glad it happened.
Wait, so what did you not like about the trade? Because I recall when we were texting, you said it was incredibly even.
Oh yeah, sometimes it's because I roasted you, and I realized nothing's worse than when you make a trade and then someone says something, and immediately you're like, you feel like shame, sort of. And I was like, that's not a fun feeling, because I made fun of you at first, and then I decided to call it.
No, but if you didn't like the trade, I want to hear what you didn't like about it, because I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay, that's what all that matters. I would rather not have. I'd rather have Mac's side, but if you feel good about Jamar, great.
I don't have Jamar personally.
Wait a second.
You're looking at the wrong trade. Nico and Hampton for Neighbors and Chuba.
Oh, this trade?
Yeah, that's the trade that I was involved in.
Oh. Oh my gosh, I felt so bad for Mac.
Well, I think it looks a lot worse now because Hampton exists and he's the only good running back there. So I think it's unlucky. And then
I mean, yeah, I feel bad for Mac. He'll come back, but Neighbors, I think my guess is Mac's mindset was, I need to change something. I need to take a risk, and he did. And Neighbors is going to be incredibly volatile, but his team needs volatility to win. You got a great floor play and a side piece that actually had a lot of upside, and it paid off already. So I don't know. I think this trade right here,
it's early
for you. I was talking about.
Yeah, I agree with you with the Mac-Alex trade. I'm not sure. Scroll up.
Oh, yeah. So this one was the one.
Also, I want to shout out. I'm pulling a Steven right now. I literally texted Alex, hey, I'm looking for a 2-for-1 for Neighbors. Would you do a wide receiver plus a running back? Oh, you can't do running backs. Would you do a tight end? Never got a response. I see this trade go through. All right.
All good. I mean, I don't know. I think obviously the CD going down is really bad, but Alex team was looking pretty scary after adding Chase.
It was. I feel bad.
And then we have this one.
Has an injury.
I've been trying to get them to do this since week 1. And ironically, if they had done this, I wouldn't have gotten high score twice, and I think they would have. They would be 6-0. So I'm kind of glad they let me hold on to JSN. But JSN again has keeper value for $30. He's a top 5 wide receiver. He's whatever, and my team needs desperately with CMC. I need running back depth and stuff like that. So it was a really interesting. The rare 1-for-1 swap where both people need the other, like both people win, but in different ways. But I can tell you there are a couple people who are pretty salty. I'll just say right now, my personal brand of trading, I tell you my best offer, and if you say I can't do that, then I don't think there's any more negotiating. I don't think like, oh well, what can we do? I'm not gonna be the person who pits one trade against another. That's not how I like to do it. And also, kind of want to play. I'm cheering for Bled. I'd love for them to come in 5th this year. I think that'd be really great for them.
I thought this was a fair trade. Yeah, we'll see what happens. You can, and this is, I think, one of the biggest things about having a good start to the season is you can afford to take a risk. You can afford to wait on Genty a little bit.
I'm playing for the playoffs. Also, there's going to be weeks where I'm going to go, oh man, I wish I had JSN because he just put up 30, and then there's weeks where I'm going to be really glad to have the floor of GT. But maybe, honestly, or I'm just not going to get more than 10 points out of him for the rest of the year, and that's okay.
Yeah, he won't score any more touchdowns ever again.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I paid $3.
Enough trade talk.
All right.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Alex. Al's on tour right now. I feel like he's looking forward to when he's a little bit more engaged. I'd love to have him as a guest appearance, talk trade sometime. Shout out, Al.
I think he's engaged. He's just playing the hand he has. If you look at his team, like there's not a lot of moves he can make. He's got. I mean, Puka is the number 1 wide receiver.
The CD injury is so unlucky. That sucks.
It is unlucky. That's all it is unlucky. He's 2-4, so he's got to wait. He's got to figure out how to get to the playoffs. But like, if he can figure it out, I think that he's got a shot.
What's our next topic?
Well, do you want to revise the power rankings?
Yes, I have some power rankings.
Okay.
Is there a way you could pull up our previous power rankings? Because I don't even remember where we were.
Yes, I can.
Wow. Props to Brian for being not only a great podcast host, but also a great producer. Shout out.
Okay, so this was it right here. Both of us had Steven. I mean, you all have seen it, but that was it. And then I already went and did mine. So why don't you I'll do.
Yeah, okay. So number 1, I'm still Steven as well.
Okay, great. I need that level of jinx for him. I'm so happy.
So that's even. Number 2, I have Brian.
Hey, that's the same for me. I will drag that 7.
For me, that's only +2 or +1. And when making these, it was tough because I feel confident about the tiers. So I actually have Brian and Steven as the only first tier people, front runners for the championship right now. So that's my top 2. That's my first tier, and I think that they're a little interchangeable, but that's what I have. All right, and then number 3, you have Bo. I have Nate, number 3.
You have Nate, number 3, which is actually -1. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just because Nate got off to a tough start to the season, but this past week, I think we saw, like, if the Eagles have to score points, then Nate's team is going to be awesome, and Nate he's only 2-4, but right now that doesn't matter. It's like, that's 1 and 2, like, whatever. But Saquon has done pretty much nothing, and I think he only has room to be better. So
yeah, doesn't feel like we've seen Nate's team yet. Also, the intangible is Nate's absolute level of unluckiness. Can't be underestimated.
I can't speak to that. All right, and then you had Bo. So I had Bo here.
So yeah, so I moved Bo up 2 spots up to third
Bo is way up on mine. That's up like 7 spots, something like that.
Yeah, at fourth. Well, Bo's team is crazy, but JT looking good. Lamar, I mean, if you look like he's just setting record. He's the best player in fantasy right now.
And that is not to toot my own horn, but that's the first thing I said about Bo's team is he has 2 guys who are either going to carry his team or they're not. And right now, I'm looking at this past matchup. They combined for 60, almost 65 points, and they've been awesome. Nothing against
enough points to not get the lowest score in our league.
I am still a little suspect of the rest of Bo's roster supporting those 2 stars, but you can't argue with results, and so I have Nate and Bo are my tier 2, so that wraps up my tier 2.
Yep, fair. Then, so in 5th place, I have Nate, so I had basically 4th and 5th. I had Blood of Diarrhea and Nate, and they stayed the same.
I have Blood as number 5, so
5.
That is plus 3.
Plus 3. So you moved them up. Why'd you move them up?
I think we're getting to the point in the season where depth will matter more. First buys are next week, guys. We're almost a month into football. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, I think that Gibbs is clearly a star. They just traded for JSN. I think that was really good for their team because unlike most of us, they don't really need a running back. So Scadaboo's popping a little bit. I mean, terrible offense, but we'll see. Waddle has some contingent upside. They have Dobbins sitting on their bench. I think this is a good team. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to push them to a championship, but I'm pretty comfortable putting them in the playoff tier. They're tier 3 for me.
Oh, for sure. Their team's going to shine during injuries and bye weeks, and we just haven't seen that yet. So I kept them at 4th, though I'd love to see them go higher, and I'd love JSN to help them get there.
All right, here I have. You have me. That's so nice. Okay, so I'll give you my next 2, which is the end of my 3rd tier. I have Taylor and then myself. So I think Taylor's team, again, I just mentioned this, he had a risky draft. A lot of his risks are very quickly paying off. So let me find him. I love him. He's my cousin. He's pretty lucky to have the record he has, but he hit on Rome. He hasn't hit yet on Travion, but he's probably going to. Pickens is going to have a good few weeks. Ladd has still not really done much, but he will. Trey Benson is now, a league winner, whatever we would call that. But he's hit on a lot of guys that are 50-50 at the beginning of the season. So I think he's in a really good spot, especially with the record he has. He's in position to pretty soundly make the playoffs.
So you said Taylor in 6th, right?
I have Taylor ahead of me. So yeah.
You have Austin. This is tier 4 for you?
No, I have Taylor and then Austin. Yeah, this is tier 3.
Wow, so Taylor, just to be clear, Taylor is up 4 for you.
Yeah. I didn't really like his team preseason, but again, I think he has hit on a lot of his coin flips. So
you gave yourself plus 2. Okay, yeah. As you can see, I brought I don't have Taylor. I still have Taylor higher, but not as high as you. I'm excited to see where his team goes. I think he still has room to go up. We called that in the first time. We said if any of these teams has a path forward with his team, I've seen that. Your team, you hit on several things. You hit on Ibuka, seems like a real deal, and you hit on a trade for Amarian's upside, and it came to fruition right away. But so your team's gotten better, and we'll see what happens. But
yeah, I'm happy with, again, I feel like I did well with what I had, but $31 is looking a lot for Mr. Dropsky Hands Jr. right now.
Who? Marvin Harrison?
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison?
And
he's available.
Stupidly, but the CD injury really impacts my quarterback situation. Lucky that I have maybe Brock Purdy playing this week. We'll see, but I don't know if the Cowboys offense is going to be able to do anything while CD's out. And
you should go Josh Allen. That's all you need.
Yeah, I'll take him.
But real quick, I actually rose you 4. I forgot to say that. And I have in my 7th place is Josh, who I have up from last place to 7th place. That's the highest riser or fall. It's the highest riser that I've seen. And I wanted to say, good job, Josh.
Josh hung in there. I offered him a trade. I was offering a lot of neighbors trades last week. I knew I needed to do kind of a 2-for-1, and he said my team is built for later in the season. He's probably right.
Josh knows what's up.
Okay, so
then I had Taylor up 3 spots and Alford down 7 spots because of bad luck, injury, and being on tour. What'd you have in tier 5?
This is my 4th tier. So it was 2, 2, 3. Now Al, top of tier 4. This tier for me was pretty tough. I feel like everyone here is like could make the playoffs, but their either record is bad or they're having kind of a rough time. I mean, Al theoretically has the best receivers in the league, but CD being out, my fear, I'm a Cowboys fan too, so my fear is CD's out for 2 to 6 weeks, who knows, and let's say we go 2-4 during that time, what are we playing for? Is Dak still going to be the quarterback at that point? Our offensive line is hurt, so I think that really hurts his team, especially when he's playing he was playing kind of a 0 RB build. So he couldn't really afford to take another 0 in his roster. But I mean, he still has he has Jamar, he has Puka. If you have Jamar and Puka, you can figure it out. Right now, it's kind of hard to judge too because I know he's super busy and he probably isn't making a lot of moves right now. But he has Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Obviously, he's going to pick up a quarterback tomorrow off the waiver wire.
This is Alex in 8th, right?
Alex in 8th. Yes.
Down from 4th, so -4. Okay, and then who you got in 9th?
I got Macalicious.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot to be said. He's taking a lot of L's. I think his team is still relative, especially after dealing Jamar. I think his team is relatively well built. Just a question of does BTJ remember how to play football, and is Tet Tet looks good? Is he the real deal?
Is that a whole tier? These 3?
So right now, Alex and Mac. I have Alex and Mac and 2 other in the 4th tier.
You're not in your own 4th tier.
No, I'm in the 3rd tier.
I don't get it. All right, keep going. So, got you. Yeah, dude, Max fall from grace, whatever. His fall from mediocrity to bad. It hurts to see. It reminds me of seeing Najee squirming on the ground.
Don't say that. Ugh,
I'm just saying, when you see a hero of yours fall and flop around on the ground and you see that look on their face of, I will never be good again, and that sadness, it's like, it's good, buddy. I can't wait to see you on the news. I can't wait. You're going to narrate a game. You're going to get it. But at least you're in the league. That's what matters.
We love you, Mac. I'm going to move on. Okay. So this is 10 in my power ranking, still in tier 4. Got Gliss. I don't got a lot new to say. They have a lot of vets. They're really dependent on those guys showing up. What the fuck is going on with Derrick Henry? This guy is great, and he is allergic to letting his team win the game. I would be worried about Kamara if I was them. Not because I don't think he's worse, but that team they had, I think, almost the largest deficit at halftime ever. And
yeah,
I don't know. It seems like they are not happy with their team, and it's tough for them to make I see the position they're in. It's tough to make good start-sit decisions.
Yeah.
I think some trades are coming from Blitzcrank.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have, I already said mine. I had Gliss at 11. So my 11 and 12 are Gliss and Luke. Who do you have lower than Gliss?
I have Josh. Josh ends my tier 4. I have Al, Mac, Gliss, and Josh all in tier 4. One of these teams, 2 of these teams are going to make the playoffs, but I don't honestly, I think it's a testament to how close, I think the league is really tight this year. I like Josh's team. I don't think there's a ton of upside. I think London obviously can play better. and like Williams didn't get. Oh, he did get a touchdown this week. Maybe JCM plays better. Judkins, we'll see. I don't hate his team. End of tier 4 for me.
Okay.
And then I've got Luke in tier 5 because Luke's team is suffering. And sorry, Luke, but I'm really happy you didn't get lowest score again. That would have been a record for our league, and that would have been very sad.
Yeah. And I have Luke too. So how far did he drop for you? He dropped from 7th, so yeah, that's -5. I mean, I will say about Luke's team, and we're going to talk about this in the next segment. Also, I missed a tier break here. So you had 2 in the first tier, me and Steven. Then you had 2 in the second tier? Or 3? Is Bo in tier 2?
Bo is in tier 2. So it's Steven, Brian in tier 1, Nate, Bo in tier 2, Bled, Taylor, Austin, tier 3, Al, Mac, Bliss, Josh, tier 4, Luke occupying tier 5 alone.
Got you. Okay. Anyway, just it'll be prettier later when I put this into chat. Color was that? Probably this one. Color was that? Probably. Okay. So I mean, looking at Luke's team though, because you know he's someone we can all cheer for. You don't feel bad losing to Luke. That smile might invite us fishing sometime. But I will say, he's got some stuff on his bench. Addison starts this week. He's got Rice. Is it Jerry Rice? I don't know. Somebody's coming back soon.
Jerry Rice.
The team that needs it. We're not looking at. I'll switch over to this view, but it's not over. He's not. I don't know if he's the.
No one is out yet. We're the worst team in the league is 1 week of results out of a playoff spot. So
right. Who do you think is the worst 0-6 team moving forward, Mac or Luke?
Well,
you just said Luke.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my power ranking.
All right, whatever.
There are trades coming. Okay, and then that leads me, and this is a long podcast, so I don't want to take too long going over this, but let's have a brief discussion on draft dollars. 1 week from today, Tuesday, we're gonna have a vote, and I'd like us to offer a quick perspective. It seems like, and I think I want to honor the point Luke made recently, was that last year when people were selling off, they were under the impression that they could regain draft dollars at the same rate. I think that is, unless I hear a great argument otherwise, that's probably what we're going to operate with this year is plus or minus 25. However, moving into next year, I think we need to think about some things in terms of I think the two ends of the spectrum is do what you want, it's your money, it's your life, it's your draft. The other end is more so communal. Like if there is a team that sells off and is really bad, that affects everyone. It's because of median, because of direct matchups. So I think that there are perspectives to both sides. I'd love to hear BK Lounge's perspective.
Yeah, I'm for it. I mean, I think what makes the most sense to me is I'd rather see a cap. I'd rather see a cap on how much you can sell. Meaning, I'd rather see you for the most you can go down is -10, and the most you can go up is 15 or something like that. I looked back at our comments. By the way, when you said that before the season started, several people replied and said, "Yep, that sounds great." And there was someone else who replied and said, "Yeah, we want to avoid a situation where it's like cyclical bottom 6 versus top 6 kind of thing."
Exactly. Yes, that's another point.
Every year. But I do want to say, if you're gonna if you can figure it out, you can figure out how to accumulate. That should matter. So I think the edge should be to the accumulators, so they get an additional 15. And then the sellers, we don't want sellers. I mean, we're looking at people who are selling this last year who are struggling, but we're also looking at people who had money and are struggling. So it's hard to pull anything away. That being said, I care more about keeping the league together than I do about my own championship that's inevitable this year. So whatever, as long as we don't become disengaged, I don't care.
Yeah.
But Glycerin is going to be hard to take you seriously if you can't up your engagement. I'll say Luke, even though you are so bad this year, I love seeing you involved, and I love your spunk. So I think we're still pretty involved, pretty good.
Results have been pretty varied so far, but
we're gonna need more pictures of Laney. That's just kind of a non-negotiable.
Yeah, and of your dick. All right.
We have to do picks for next week.
We got to do picks for next week.
Yeah. So, I just say, we'll go through them kind of quickly because it's a long one. You look like you're thirsty anyway, so maybe you need to take a break. Brian Mack, what do you have for me versus our other one's father? This is our fantasy father figures.
I wanted to find a way to be contrarian here. Oh wait, I want to get an update on where our standings are for our picks this year. Can you pull that up for us?
What picks?
Our head-to-heads.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So our total is I'm ahead by 1.
Fuck. What was last week?
Yeah, I can show you. Basically, in week 3, where we differed was you convinced me to take you.
I did not. You wanted to take me. You wanted that more than anything.
I think you wanted it more than anything. I'm no longer going to do any pity picks, by the way. And then I got you on Nate versus Josh. And then you got me on that one. But I was already ahead 1 because the week before I went up 2. So you went up 1, then I went up 2. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. Now looking at week 4. Well, now you're going to steal my picks. Don't change your picks, okay?
Oh, I literally am not looking. So I have them all written down on this Thrivent envelope.
Okay. I did remember I wanted to adjust some of these, and I didn't before this podcast. So as we go through, I actually might change my pick, but I'm not changing it.
A gigantic asterisk.
Because I wanted to... Honestly, I'll tell you which ones, first of all. Let me just have
You can just pick first. You can just pick first in all of our matchups.
Oh, okay, great. All right. Me versus Mac, I choose me. It's no offense. I want to see it. If I could see an upset this week, this is the upset I would want to see.
Pull up the matchups. We got to see it. But yes, I agree with you. I wanted to pick the contrarian one, but
yeah. Hey, give it to me. Mac. It's not that I want to lose, but this would be the best upset for the league this week, and hurts to see your heroes fall.
I do think that this is going to be a lower scoring matchup. You guys don't have great matchups.
Yeah, I want to see. I'm literally trying to figure out if I should start Josh Allen or not because he might not play for the final 3 quarters of the game.
Yeah.
Chase has been Garbaggio, but he's against a bad run defense, and they need to do anything except for throw the ball, so maybe that's good. I don't know. We'll see. This isn't maybe not even my final lineup. I have some decisions to make, but I think I got Mac handled in this one unless he makes some crazy trades, but he would have to. I don't even know what he could do that would. He's gonna have to lie to someone to beat me this week.
All right, we got Mac there.
Then we have. Oh, who do you have? Mac, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I have you.
Okay, great. Kind of have an idea for future version of this, but Austin versus Josh. We're looking at you versus Joshi. This is projected to be pretty close. I don't love your quarterback options, even if Purdy plays. I don't know if I'd play him. I love Omarion for you, although I mean, my hot take is you probably saw his peak for the season. I don't think he gets that high again. Maybe though. I mean, he was just a check down king, and that's just not how they need to play.
You know who else was a check down king?
Who?
Eckler.
Last week he was a check down. Okay, whatever. So versus Joshi though, and Josh, Judkins, Adams. I like Adams this week. Sutton, Debo. If McLaurin's out, I think there's a story here. I was going back and forth, and I need to know: is this your final lineup, or are you considering making any swaps down here?
I was happy with Dak. I think Dak's playing great football this year, but without CD, it's just a bunch of G Leaguers and the one guy who gets mad.
Okay. Who'd you take?
I have myself in a really close matchup. I think, honestly, don't love this week for me or Josh, but yeah, I'm really struggling between does Marvin Harrison remember how to catch a football, or do the coaches want to give Ramondre the football again? So
yeah, all right, I got Josh on that one, so I got some variance.
Great.
I went back and forth, and honestly, I don't think there's a way to tell. I'm just gonna go that. I'm just gonna hope that you do bad. All right. Then we have Bo versus Nate, and this is the one I need to talk through because I'm still on the fence. Okay, so I feel like the Eagles have to put up points against a very feisty team. I feel like Josh Jacobs is going to eat. I feel like Pearsall's going to catch the ball. I feel like Ferguson's going to get a million targets. Jordan Mason is going to run the ball down their throats. Hunt is going to do nothing, and I think his defense is irrelevant. Lamar Jackson against KC, I think he'll have his lowest scoring game of the week. Jonathan Taylor, I can't figure out if this is going to become a run game or not, but I kind of feel like both running backs in this game are going to get stunted, hopefully. Javonte, it's his last good week, I think was last week. Zay is basically just Keon on a different team. Kobe is good. Laporta is getting better. Chubb sucks. ETN's getting better, but he's going against San Francisco, and the Bills might score 30 points. I was going back and forth on this one, and I ended up, I took Bo, but I'm changing to Nate.
Unfortunately, I have Nate.
That's fine.
I think that Nate's team has not shown its full potential yet, and this is a good week for them. I think, yeah, to your point, again, I think Bo is heavily carried by his two best players. Lamar has a really tough matchup. I think JT will get his, but yeah, I got Nate.
Sorry for what we've done to you, Nate. All right, we got L4 versus Gliscran. I'll keep this one short. I went with Gliscran. I don't have any faith in Al's team this week because of the injuries and because of his quarterback options and his bench. So it's going to be a couple weeks before I think I'm going to choose Al.
I have Gliss ? Because Al doesn't who is he playing at quarterback? Who's he putting into his flex? Is he doing trades?
So you choose Gliss or not?
Yes, I choose Gliss because how could I choose Al when who the hell knows what his team will look like?
Lineup on a Tuesday. That's not a reason. You can still look at his team.
choose Gliss. I have Gliss as my choice.
All right,
go Gliss.
Sounds like you're too scared. All right, Gliss. I dropped Justin.
Shout out Thrivent. Let's go, baby.
True. We got Luke versus Steven. This is if I could choose an outcome, I would. You know what I would choose. But it's inevitable. Even if Steven loses this week, his upside should be really high. Like, he should be stoked on his team. That being said, I would probably guess based off of I just went with matchups alone. I think this is Luke's last week going 0-2.
Yep, we can move on. I got Steven.
Okay. And then, last but not least, well, maybe least, actually, we have Taylor versus Blood of Diarrhea, and my recent trading partners who just robbed me blind. I'm going to miss that guy. $30 keeper. Ugh.
That's a good keeper.
Yeah. All right, wide receiver 6 on the year. 13, 10 targets. 6 targets. This is in half of a game, by the way. Ugh. Maybe I should trade for him. Okay. So, Taylor's got what's got going on. He's got the Benson handcuff that paired off, and Benson looked good. Hunter Henry is the number one tight wide receiver or tight end in fantasy right now.
Off of one great week.
He has 1 week with 1 point and 1 week with 25 points, and he's number one. Yeah, I mean, Pickett's should see some uptick, right? Can't all go to him. Then you got Jedediah Rhea over here with the entire Lions against the most terrifying defense in football.
I don't know if you're kidding, but I think they have a great defense.
Scattaboo is the hype boy of the week and going against a great defense. He's got JSN, which is an all-star. Kelsey, which Hey, now he was an all-star, and then plays at running back. I mean, at flex, but both running backs. I'm trying to see if they make any changes here. Deep bench still. I think this one will be a lot closer than we're expecting, and I'm actually going to take Blood.
Good.
I'm
taking Blood. I think this, if Travion's going to break out, it's this week. It is interesting that Taylor is playing. I mean, the Benson Seattle defense has a bad correlation, but whatever. Seattle's defense looks insane so far, and Rome is awesome. I think Ladd scores a touchdown this week. Yep, I'm going to take Taylor.
Wow. Taylor did specifically call us out. No one has picked him, and he's 5-1.
Okay, let's take out week 1 where he beat Luke by 1 point and would have had the lowest score.
No, dude, 5-1. Your record is your record. So
all right.
Good job, Taylor. Overall, though, I would say this is maybe going to be the most interesting week. I feel like this is when the trenches sort of start, and then we move into bye weeks next week. But this is maybe where we start to see a couple different groups emerge.
Yep, that's what we're all about here in this country, is separated into groups. All right. Anything before we close, Brian? I have a closing statement.
I would say that I have nothing left. What is your closing statement?
I want to shout out Steven for a great W this week. We decided that while a shotgun is fun, a drunk podcast is funner. So you're better, Steven. You're a great team. Shout out. I would like to read you all a reflection I had on fantasy this week when I was mega tilting when Dak threw the last interception that would matter for my matchup. And I have it written down, so I am reading. But as I was reflecting on my devastating 0.5 loss today, the difference between 2-0 and 0-2, between 5-1 and 3-3, I saw that each individual catastrophic event leading into it. There was turnovers, drops, start sit mistakes on my end. Last night, the Montgomery run that he should have gone down on, that led into a Lamar throw that kept my median hopes at bay. And the butterfly effect of all of this cascading down towards a potential loss of a playoff berth, season of a championship, eternal glory, all those things going through my mind. Then I remember last week when I had no business getting the median win based on what we called maths. I remember the great joys of seeing improbable wins on my past and realized that I have no business cursing the football gods when they have been very kind to me over the years. And this honestly made me think more about life. Are we the kind of managers who make excuses for injuries and lost seasons? Do we blame players instead of learning from our mistakes and getting stronger for the next time? Am I destined to only see the mistakes leading to failure instead of the improbable wins, crazy performances, and seeds of fortune? And can we simply enjoy the game rather than fixate on a result that is largely out of our control? My friends, in fantasy and in life, I wish you a week, a month, a year, a lifetime of seeing the good despite the bad. An existence that abides in the joy of being rather than the fallacy of success. I hope we all enjoy the road more than the destination, because God knows where we'll get to. We only know the steps that we're taking, one at a time.
I'm going to kill myself if you keep going.
What'd you say?
I'm going to kill myself if you keep going.
GG's. Goodbye.